Believe it or not, this unprecedented year is almost over. As we get through October of 2020, there's less than 3 months until we all start a new journey in 2021. And when the new year rolls around, a lot of people, including myself, they set goals for the year. Maybe it's to get your finances in order, get back in the gym and get back in shape. The possibilities are absolutely endless. But oddly enough, tons and tons and tons of people set goals for themselves, but studies show that about 80% of New Year's resolutions fail, which I really thought was pretty interesting, and I sat down and I thought about it, and I really didn't understand why. Is it due to lack of ambition? Is it due to lack of time? Do people change their mind? Why do all these people, not just people that set New Year's resolutions, set these goals for themselves, these such ambitious goals, they're so fired up about it, they really want to pursue it, and then all of a sudden, they just decide to leave it behind. You'll see people say something like, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds over the next 2 months. They'll really start on it. They'll go about 2 weeks and they're gung-ho, they're dieting, they're working out, and then all of a sudden they fall right back into their old habit of just watching TV all day, eating whatever they want. And why does this happen? So in this video, we're going to talk about how I set my goals and how you can set your goals if you want to set them this way. So hopefully you can stay on track with your goals in 2021. But first, as always, please like this video. It helps out the channel in a huge, huge, huge way. It allows me to get this video out to more people. And also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. So the first issue I really see with New Year's resolutions and goals in general is they put a time on when they want to start. So for example, we'll use the dieting example again. November, right before, right after Thanksgiving, you hear people say, January 1st, I want to start dieting, I want to start working out, I want to start getting back in shape. And essentially, you're setting yourself up for failure, I feel like, initially, because you're putting a date on it, a date you will start. So you already get into the habit of procrastinating, pushing that goal off. So when January 1st does come around, and you're just like, well, I'm not feeling that great today, maybe I'll start tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into next week turns into February. Before you know it, it's 2022, and you've done nothing to work towards that goal. But say instead, the same time, like right around Thanksgiving, you decide, all right, today's Thanksgiving, right now, I'm gonna start dieting, I'm gonna start getting in shape, and you immediately jump into it and you work towards it through the rest of 2020, through 2021, you're gonna be a lot more optimistic with it, I feel like. So now that you have your goal, you know exactly what you wanna do, you're gonna start it right now, you need to make that goal unrealistic. That's right, you need to make it unrealistic. I got this idea from one of Grant Cardone's books, The 10X Rule, and if anyone's interested, I will leave a link down below in the description. But basically what he talks about in this book is you should 10X your goals. And obviously this is gonna be a little bit non-applicable depending on what your goal is. For example, if you're a 6 foot, 200 pound male, well, you're obviously probably not gonna be able to lose 100 pounds because you just need that body weight, that body fat, those nutrients. But say you do want to apply the 10X rule depending on your goals and you want to multiply that by 10. And let's say, for example, you wanna save $10,000. Obviously, if you're making $40,000 a year, it might be tough to 10X that goal of $10,000 and save $100,000. But let's say you decide, all right, I'm gonna set a goal for $100,000. I'm gonna do my best to get there, we're gonna see what happens. You decrease your expenses, you take up investing, maybe you start a side hustle, you get creative with it, and at the end of 2020, or 2021 rather, you have $30,000 saved. Now, did you save that $100,000 that you wanted to save? No, you didn't. But did you save astronomically more than that $10,000 you initially set a goal for? Yes, and this is kind of the goal here, to surprise yourself, because sometimes people just undercut their goals, and that's another problem. Some people just make their goals too easy, so it's really hard for them to work towards it because they just get bored, and eventually the ambition they had just fizzles out because it's something they can just sit around all day and just not work on and it'll get done. For example, say if you want to save $100 in 2021, well, that's not really a goal that's gonna need to be mapped out too much, depending on obviously your spending and finances, but it might not be the hardest thing to come by. And on the other side, sometimes people set goals that are just way too hard for themselves. Like for example, if you make $30,000 a year and you wanna save $2 million, well, that's honestly really unrealistic, and it's just probably not gonna happen unless you have a business going that's somehow magically scaled, like it's the next Amazon or something like that. So you really wanna try to find that middle ground where it's not like super easy, but it's also not like impossible. And you wanna be more towards like the challenging side. So that way you'll keep working on it and you'll keep being motivated to continue. I did this myself with this YouTube channel. When I first started this channel back in April, I wanted to post 35 videos by the end of 2020. And I have other things going on, like school and stuff like that, so I knew 35 was definitely possible, but I also thought it might be a little too easy because I could just maybe put something small out there one day, put something small out there the next. I wanted to make sure I was really putting a lot of time and effort into it. So what I said to myself was I just doubled that goal. I said, let me try to make 70 videos. Now, am I probably gonna hit 70 videos by the end of 2020? No, I don't think so. But at the same time, I'm also over that threshold of 35. So I really challenged myself and I exceeded my initial expectations. And that's really what you want to do. Just exceed those smaller expectations you have and just open up the possibilities that you can take advantage of. So you know what goal you want, you're committing to it and you're setting it a little bit out of reach. You decide to start it now. The next thing you want to do is plan out how you're going to get there. And this is where people also struggle, because say you want to save $10,000, but you have $0 in your bank account right now. People don't want to see $100, $200, $300. They just want to go from 0 to 10,000, and that's not realistic. So you need to lay out a plan with smaller steps in order to get there. So if you do want to save $10,000, maybe don't just go from 0 to 10,000. Maybe see if you can cut back on expenses, see where your money's going, see if you can allocate it differently. And then what I like to do is I like to work backwards. So if I want to save $10,000, how do I go how did I get from 9,000 to 10,000 and 8,000 to 9,000? And I just keep working backwards until eventually I would get all the way down to 0. And then I would just press play and start on track with that goal. And you want to make sure these goals are specific. You don't just want to say, I want to save more money than I did last month. Say you want to save $10,000, you have to say to yourself, all right, that's $833 a month. If I get paid bi-weekly, that's just over $415 I have to save and put away after every check. And once you do this, it's going to give you much more reachable, tangible goals. And while a year and $10,000 might seem like a lifetime away, it's going to go by like that if you just stick with it and you keep checking off these smaller goals along the way. And the last thing we're going to talk about here is once you have all this lined up, you want to make sure you're working smarter and not harder. You can work very, very hard, but if you're not working smart, you could burn yourself out eventually. So say, for example, you want to run a marathon and you decide you're going to start working towards that goal today. You get up and you start running 30 miles every single day. Well, the problem with this is if you run 30 miles every single day, your body's probably just gonna break down eventually, as harsh as that may sound. So instead of running 30 miles every single day, maybe set up some sort of training program where you can work towards your first marathon and you can peak for that first marathon and your body's not gonna break down along the way. And that's actually gonna be it for this video, guys. This video didn't come out to be overly long. I just kind of want to get out this goal setting strategy with 2021 coming along. Let me know how you plan on setting your goals and what your goals are for 2021 in the comments down below. As always, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.